Let's begin with a word of prayer. Father, first I do thank you that you are the God who is present, that you are that tower and that refuge and that hiding place. And so be that to Betty's family or friends. Let them find their refuge and strength in you. And then I do thank you for the life of Betty Harper Ford, that through her you brought life in the world. Through her you enriched this corner of your globe. Father, I do ask when her name is mentioned, and not even just in this setting, but as those next generations talk about her, that there'll be big smiles across people's faces. That folks will nod their heads in agreement as to her legacy. Father, let the name of Betty Harper Ford continue to be held in the highest of regards. We do give you thanks for her. Amen. As all of you know, it would be impossible to take Betty's life, 81, nearly 82 years, and boil it down to a few moments that we have here. Too much life packed into those years. And so I do ask each of you to continue to tell ways she's left her mark on your life. And several things I'll say about her specifically. And the first of those is that God created her to be a significant individual. And that's no small passing statement. There are some 7 billion people on the planet today. You take all the folks who came before Betty and then all those who will follow after, and in that huge number, never has there been, never will there be another person quite like Betty. So you can say God broke the mold after he made her, so she'd be that unique and one of a kind. So from her birth on April 16th, 1932, Monroe, Louisiana, Betty came in the world in a way in which she would be then precious and priceless because of that. Now, scientists tell us that our fingerprints are unique. So I mean, the things that Betty did with her hands would be a reflection of her uniqueness there. The way in which she served her country in the United States Navy and then in civil service. The way in which she managed her household, raised her 3 children. The way in which she loved to garden and then can the fruits and vegetables that were a product of her hands. The way in which she was very careful and saved money so that when school started each year, the children would have new clothes. Each summer when they vacationed in Port Aransas, they'd be able to have a good time for that length of time. You see the way in which she practiced hospitality, kindness, generosity. You saw her hands in motion as she spoke, perhaps as she would embrace someone. Each of you have a story to tell on how you benefited from something that Betty did with her hands. Solomon said, be the wise of all people. Solomon said, whatever your hands find to do, do it with all your might. So as you tell the stories of Betty, make certain that you accent the way you benefited from the things she did with her hands, the way in which you saw her skill and her strength and that ability extending out to other people. Scientists also tell us that our eyes are unique. So in the same way, no one who ever lived had the same eye color, the same pattern, and certainly the same sparkling dance in her eyes as Betty had. There'd be times in which there'd be a gathering and she'd be across the room and your eyes would meet her eyes. Without any words being exchanged, there'd be communication. As the philosopher would say, the eye is the pathway of the soul. You could see her passion, her zest for life. You could see her independence in her eyes. You can see in which she had a worldview and the way in which she looked at things. And so you want to talk about the way in which she saw the people, places, and things around her. And because of that, there'll be any number of individuals that you'll run into that you share that common bond with Betty. Talk of her will come to pass. You'll drive by certain locations or hear particular places, and your mind will be flooded with thoughts of Betty again. Or you'll see particular things, items, situations, and in the same way, you'll be able to celebrate her life. And that's the way it should be. So over and over again, you can talk about how Betty